Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Defining Discipline podcast. I'm your host, Scott. Defining discipline is a lifestyle, a mentality, and a brand. Within this podcast, we're going to focus on self improvement as you follow along with me on my journey. We'll also hear from special guests of all walks of life on this podcast and their remarkable journeys that led them to where they are today. Today is day 262 of my journey. At the beginning of the year, I challenged myself to run 365 days in a row, all outside, bearing the elements, whatever they may bring. I also challenged myself to run 1,500 miles within this time frame. Now, this is my second year ever running. Within the first full year of running at the age of 31, I was able to run 1,002 miles, and I did that within 175 days out of the year. So me going for 1,500 miles this year is over a 50% increase in the amount of miles as opposed to the miles I ran last year. And me going for 365 days is over 100% increasing the amount of days I'll be running this year as opposed to the amount of days I ran last year in 2020. Not to mention again that this year is all days in a row with no days off. It's 365. Also within this time frame, I've challenged myself to run two major races. One of those races being a 50K trail race, ultra marathon. I was actually able to finish that on June 5th, 2021. That was the Yankee Springs 50K trail race, 31-mile race. Got that finished in 7 hours, 15 minutes, and 22 seconds. That was day 156 of my journey and kept the streak alive ever since and up to and since. Now the next race we have is coming up on day 289 and 290, and that is going to be the Detroit Free Press Marathon. That is another race I'll be running within this time frame this year of running 365 days in a row. That is coming up, like I said, on day 289 and 290 because I'm running the Motor City Challenge of that race, which entails running the competitive 1 mile and competitive 5K the day before running the actual marathon. So that's a 2-day race for me. I'll be running 3 different races within those 2 days. But really looking forward to that. That is coming up in less than a month. So definitely trying to, probably going to start to taper a little bit sooner than later because my body is feeling a little sore. Well, we're going to get to that. So other than that, let's actually get into mileage for the day, week, month, and year. So for the day today, day 262, got out there and put in 3.5 miles to end the week. Wanted a little bit more, but my body wasn't having it, and I was kind of on a time schedule where I wasn't able to have any more time to really stay out there any longer, and my body just really wasn't up for it, honestly. So 3.5 for the day, that put me at 29.9 for the week, which put me at 86.6 for the month, which put me at 1,199.6 miles for the year. It's a big chunk out of yearly mileage. I had a schedule. Let's see, actually. It says 122 miles ahead of my plan. So anyways, let's focus in on these monthly miles though. 86.6. Every single month I challenge myself to a 100-mile challenge. I do it in honor of a charity in which I donate money to, and I also start a coinciding fundraiser to try to raise money and awareness for that charity throughout that month. For the first 8 months of the year, we were able to raise money for 8 great charities. Now we're here in the 9th month, the month of September, and the 100-mile monthly challenge is in honor of the National Rise Syndrome Foundation. Chose that charity for this month for a couple of reasons. Just for one reason, because September is actually Rise Syndrome Awareness Month. So that's why we chose that fundraiser. And if you would like to donate to this month's fundraiser, you can find the link to do so on the Defining Discipline Instagram or Facebook story, or my personal page's Instagram or Facebook story. Within the stories, you just click on it and it'll open up a Facebook link where you're actually able to make your donations. All donations that get made to this cause and fundraiser go directly to this cause and to this charity. So keep that in mind. Know that Facebook is not taking any portion or any percentage of your donations. It is all going to the cause. So I do know times are tough and not everyone is able to actually donate. If that is the case, do not feel bad. The next best thing you could do if you are unable to donate is you could just click that share button, because we are trying to raise awareness for this cause throughout these months. And the best way to do that is to get as many eyes on it as possible. So click that share button, and then ask other people as well to share it. Again, because we're trying to get as many eyes on it as possible, and if we can get it shared through multiple people, maybe more donations will come in that way, because we'll get more people to see it. And just to kind of learn about it, clicking that share button, just clicking on it and learning a little bit more about Reye's syndrome. So, other than that, let's actually get ready to get into today's episode. But right before we do that, as always, we're going to do the word of the day for today. Today's word of the day is lucid, which is a good word. And lucid means very clear and easy to understand. That is today's word of the day for day 262. Now let's talk day 262 and what the theme is going to be for today's episode. So for today's episode 262, today's theme is going to be tight. I guess there's kind of two different meanings for tight. Tight can mean like strung really tight, or I guess there's the same meaning. Tight means really close, tight. You could have tight as a your friendship or relationship. You guys are really close. You guys are tight. That's more of a slang version, even though it has a good meaning. But the meaning I'm talking about tight is actual, not a good tight. It is my body is tight, my muscles are tight, my legs are tight. So I don't mean like the, close tight, but I'm kind of really talking about how tight my body is. So my legs are actually pretty beat up. They were starting to feel a little beat up before running the half marathon I ran yesterday, but I really wanted to test out those running shoes before I just ran a full marathon in them without ever wearing them. And I wanted to still get a decent mile run in with them. And I don't know necessarily how much me lowering my miles, if I would have waited a week, I don't know if I'd be able to run a half marathon next weekend. So I really wanted to get it over with as soon as possible, sooner than later. So I decided just to get it done yesterday. So doing that, it kind of really made my body a lot tighter. Today, getting out there, it was definitely a struggle bus run. Even the last, more than half of the last mileage in yesterday's run was even kind of a struggle bus run. I actually had a pretty fast pace, and I'm going to give it to all the new shoes I got. No, I'm kidding. It was definitely being there with Nick and both of us kind of pushing each other at different points. So I think that kind of kept my pace up a lot faster than I had planned and anticipated. And the shoes helped. I'll give you that too. But doing that, repercussions for doing that are my body. It's tight. It's a little beat up. Today I felt pretty good all throughout the day, even at work. But when I got home and I got ready to actually go for a run, I was just kind of tired. My body didn't feel tired, but I just felt tired. And then I got up and got my watch going, got everything ready to go, clicked start on both my watches. Took the first 3 steps and my body was just like, nope, this not feeling good. And I kept going. I didn't stop. I kind of pushed through it. The first quarter mile for sure was a hobble. It was more a very ugly looking run. Actually, let's see if I can even pull that up. I didn't even really pay attention to my pacing for the day today. Not too great. So first mile 9:17, second mile I really picked it up when my body started feeling a lot better, 9:07. Um, but it was on that third mile, going into that third mile. Even towards the end of the second mile, I was actually running right into the sun. There was no breeze, and it got really, really hot at that point. So that second and third mile, I actually slowed back down to 9:19. But I'm assuming that was the beginning half of the third mile. And then towards the end of the third miles when I started picking it back up. And then half of the third, after the third mile, half of it, so I did 3.5 miles. So that last half I did at an 8:55 pace. So I kind of really picked it back up after that. But I know where I was running at, so I'm pretty sure right around from 1.7 to probably 2.4. I was probably really running at that 9:19 pace, and then was able to kind of really pick it back up from you know 2.4 to 3.5. That's what I'm more like more thinking wise is what I probably did. But the whole point of today's episode, I'm kind of getting off topic here, looking at my pacing. Whole point is just feeling really tight, so I think I'm going to really try to stretch and take it easier these next few days. Still, maybe have to get in some miles in one of these days and put in a decent mile run, but I'm going to do it at such an easy pace and such an easy run and try to really loosen my body up and take care of my body as well. Need to really try to start hydrating my body more and stretching more and using some rollers. But the whole thing is I'm trying to get it, I need to get it back into as best shape as possible to get ready for this race. I'd like to get this ailment out, by October 1st, not have to really worry about how I'm feeling. And then maybe put in, a good week that week. And try to, after that week, just try to really start tapering and get ready for this race. So today's episode got off a little off topic with pacing and all of that, and trying to figure out what my speed was here. But the whole point was today just felt very, very tight, and once I got out there, I warmed up a little bit. My muscles loosened up a little bit, but again, I still just need to stretch and really need to take care of myself because these tight days are kind of they're a little nerve-wracking, being able to take care of my body, being this far along into the streak, and just, my body not feeling good, not feeling 100%, feeling off when I'm out there, even putting in, low mileage. I get that I did just run a half marathon yesterday, but, throughout this year, I've ran many half marathons, and today just felt a little bit more sore, a little bit more beat up after it. So definitely going to try to take care of my body and try to not be so tight that way. So other than that, that is today's episode 262, tight. Excited for tomorrow's episode. Other than that, for your daily discipline for today, episode 262, it is also to try to figure out where you're tight. Maybe your back's tight. Maybe your body's a little tight. Try to really work on those areas, loosen them up. Think of tightness as getting pinched, that kind of tight. Don't think of tight as like, we're close and hanging out. What parts of your life are tight that you need to really try to, loosen the grip a little bit. That is going to be your daily discipline. Think about that and try to work on that. For me, it's physical. It's my legs and my body, my lower body. I really need to work on loosening them up and working on the slight injuries that I'm causing myself from not doing it. So that is your daily discipline for today, episode 262. Other than that, thank you guys so much for following along and listening. This is the Defining Discipline podcast. Please give it a like, a subscribe, a follow, and a share on our Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and whatever podcast streaming platform you've been following along and listening on so far. Other than that, I will see you guys for episode 263 tomorrow. And until then, thank you. Peace out.